You're welcome. It's the fresh edition of our program Summit. This is the midweek edition. Of course, you know what we do on this program. My name is Banji Busari. Well, Jumoke has an assignment and she'll be joining us much later, maybe next week. You are welcome once again. There are so many things happening in the polity. Of course, you know, politics has taken over governance. Last week we were asking our guests whether governors are still very busy serving their people. And he said, of course, why not? They are working. But what is known to Nigerians is that governors have almost abdicated their responsibilities and are busy politicking. And it's not just governors. Almost at all levels of governance, that's presidency, state, and local governments. Almost every politician is out there in the field trying to consult or talk to the people, of course, in the name of winning the next year general elections. You are welcome. Today on this program, we're discussing 2023 elections all through, but different aspects of 2023 elections. In the first segment, we're actually looking at the consideration by APC, by some members of APC anyway, to bring back the former president into their fold. That's former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Some are saying that he might just be the joker, and the speculations are all over the place whether Jonathan will accept or not. Questions around that, of course, will be the center point of today's edition. That's in the first segment. We're also looking at the issue of zoning, consensus, and all of that. Of course, PDP has been back and forth, whether it's going for zoning or consensus or whatever. The picture is getting clearer now as to whether the party will settle for a consensus or zoning. You are welcome. And on today's edition of the program, I have two very, very eminently qualified guests. Of course, they are not new, they are not strangers to you on the program. They have been coming, they are people that are veterans on issues of national importance. To my right, I have a political technocrat, Dr. Dayo Kayode. It's our pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure having you, having me in here. Thank you very much for having me. My brother Tunji Abilami too, you're welcome. And happy birthday to you, my brother.
Oh, you see,
happy birthday to you.
You've taken
I decided not to shake you that time. Now I can shake you.
Across the Niger.
I can now shake you.
Shaking across the Niger. Well, I'm also privileged to have here, of course, Dr. Dayo Kayode has said it all. He's the birthday boy. You can see he's written all over him. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. So a public affairs analyst, he's a lawyer, and let me say also a politician. Yeah. A politician that, of course, is one of the people you might see in the race to the National Assembly come 2023. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Once again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
He just requested for his own cake, and I said maybe that will be done after this.
No, only cake,
That's his responsibility.
No, Panerian.
As a friend.
You know, I'm an Ekiti man. I want Panerian.
All right, but I'm not too sure that the issues we are discussing on the program today would actually require eating of Panerian or cake, because we are discussing serious matters of national importance. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan left office in 2015 after about 6 years in office. That's on the platform of a People's Democratic Party. You all know, you all recall the circumstances that made him lose the election. And the current president actually won. But in the search for presidential aspirants in APC, the party has gone to the north, to the west, to the east, every part of the country. We have seen aspirants coming all over to throw in to show interest in the next year presidential elections. Of late, there have been speculations that former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan might be wooed to join APC and be given an opportunity to run again as a presidential candidate. To start with, what's your opinion about the idea of bringing back our past leaders? We saw it in the case of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who served as a military president, head of state. We saw it in the current president, that's President Muhammadu Buhari, Major General then, that he was head of state before. And now, former President Goodluck Jonathan is being wooed, so to speak, to come back to office. The question is, of what value, of what better value would the coming back of President Jonathan? Or maybe I should have started by asking, what's your opinion about the idea of bringing back somebody who had served before?
Yes,
That's
yeah,
Dr. Dayo.
Yeah. No doubt about it, there is no gainsaying for saying, I mean, somebody who had been a military head of state cannot come back and become a democratically elected president. But the question is, when you measure their performances, to what extent, I mean, because this now has to be individual opinion, what is it that they have brought to the table in terms of national development? Again, when you look at the Jonathan issue, his own is a different ball game entirely. Honestly, I will give him one of these Yoruba fables with a song like this, which I'm sure we all know, and I will interpret it. Ao mirin jọba ewele weku ewele ìwòyí ọ̀la rẹ̀ ewele weku ewele ẹ̀jẹ̀ á máa ṣe làwù. Do you understand?
That's a deep one.
Yes, which is they went to call a village went to call the elephant because we want to make you king. A elephant from the bush coming to be the king in a village and was dressed. But meanwhile, one herbalist had told the villagers that, look, you need to do elephant sacrifice. But if they have told elephant that is coming for them to make it to use it for a sacrifice, they won't follow them. And they were now singing. But unfortunately, as big as the ears of the elephants are, it still refused to listen to the drum beat. But by this time tomorrow, your blood, his blood, will be on the floor, and the flies will be feasting on it. APC, as is, it's not that they like Ebele Goodluck Jonathan than Asiwaju, nor they like Ebele Jonathan than the current vice president. But rather, there are some people up there who are not happy with the goodwill that Jonathan is serving worldwide, because he decided to relinquish power to a winning candidate and congratulating him for the first time in the history of this country. And for him to have also said there is nothing he's looking for that the blood of Nigerians should be used to sacrifice for such. Do you understand? So he should just stay jeje on his lane. He has done enough. He has made his name. He should sit down quietly. Don't be deceived. Listen, there is no way you will now be joining APC at this time and you think you will defeat Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, or you will defeat somebody like Osinbajo. But rather, I will just tell him he should tread it gently, because you know why? The floor is slippery.
Well, the floor is slippery. That's his own opinion anyway. He was talking about the capacity that the man has gotten a reputation, a global reputation, because of the way he actually handed over power, and that he may not be able to defeat other aspirants at the primaries. That's his own opinion. Do you share the same opinion?
Yeah, totally. I share the opinion that he may not be able to defeat other aspirants in the race. I'm talking about the APC now. We have so many of them there. They've been there, they've been sacrificing, and he is just coming. You know, the issue is this. I don't know the basis why Jonathan want to come back and say he's coming back through APC. I don't know the basis. I don't know what would I don't even know the basis why people are considering that he should come back. Should be the one.
You are even looking at it from another perspective. Why, even if he intends to come back, why APC?
Not only APC. Why is he coming back at all? Why is he coming back? Because he was voted out, not because of rigging or I don't know, but because of general perception at that time that he didn't perform very well. People believe that at the time there was no proper governance, there was no proper coordination, there was a lot of corruption. Even these current APC people, there are so many allegations against him where they were campaigning. And
he was said to be clueless.
That's a level I'm going to look. I don't know the basis upon how if he at all he decided to join the APC, how the campaign will go. I don't know. I don't know what maybe probably will go like Edo State scenario. What's it called? The current governor and what the other guy? No, not Oshiomhole indeed.
Okay. Godwin
Obaseki and the other guy, Yam.
Okay.
They were just playing the video of Adam Oshiomhole as a campaign strategy for Obaseki, where Oshiomhole was describing Yamu in different forms. That's exactly what will happen in 2020. I mean, I would be happy if he wants to join them and he's giving it.
So you think it's being set up for ridicule?
Yeah, I'm not probably because if he goes there and he didn't win the ticket, that's ridicule.
That's just the word. It's being set up for ridicule.
Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't even think politicians. They don't think the way we think. They believe that it's impossible.
Are you not one?
Everything is possible. That's why I say the way we think. we believe things are always possible. That it's not impossible. Because I don't expect how they will say, okay, former President Jonathan, come and join APC and you will give you a ticket, and they will think that Asiwaju is there, Osibajo is there, Amechi, they are all there, and they will support him and say he will just come just like that, he will just pick the ticket and he will go. No, it will be. Even let's even assume that he was given the ticket. I have said it. How would they campaign to the masses of the country? How would they explain to them that look, this is the man we are bringing in, the man they've demonized with the different adjectives, the man they've called different negative names, and then corruption. I think it's a joke.
Okay, you believe it's a joke?
I'm not sure. I don't think they are serious.
Dr. Kayode, I believe the former president must have been hobnobbing, or let me say, must have been showing interest in that particular party. Otherwise, I'm asking that is it possible for APC to wake up overnight and consider somebody who has never shown interest or has never been willing and to come back? That's I know. I would rate the level of the interest. I mean, have you seen any through his body language or other activities? Do you suppose that former president has shown interest in becoming president again?
Let me put it
to the opposition that pushed him out of power?
Let me also put it to you this way. If myself are not being showing interest in this your program, if I've not been showing interest, if you have not read the body language that yes, I'm in love with this your program, will you have invited me? Oh, and that's why I said former President Ebele Jonathan should be careful because the ground is slippery. Let me tell you this. You know, at the primaries then of PDP, when it was glaring that he was to be chosen as for a second term, a claimed second term, some people walked out of the party. You remember? Some people walked out of the party and they joined APC. But now, those people are back in PDP and they have decided to put PDP in shape. Okay? They've decided to put PDP in shape. So, along the line, you know, being the former president, the present president, Buhari, Baba Buhari, have been sending Jonathan to some areas to represent Nigeria, even with the presidential fleet and all that. Maybe he's now thinking that, see, okay, you these guys, you have a reformed PDP and you want to hold that power. Okay, I will go to that APC that you went to that time and then see how I will now show you again, so that you people will lose election. And that's why I said in first instance, the circumstances now
But what
is
I just
different.
said is in the realm of speculation. It's not confirmed that
There is
have been-
nothing.
Of course, all we are saying about
We are talking. You ask me about the body language. If he's not interested, will these people be calling? And that's why I gave you that former analogy of if you have not seen my body language, will you two have been inviting me to summit? No. So what I'm saying is, the people that are trying to woo him to APC must have seen some steps being taken by GEJ. Without them saying, if you had decided to sit down in his Otoke, this will they go there? Those people, those guys that went to him of recent in his office, that said, okay, you come and be the president. Go deep. You will see that they are sponsored crowd. We all know the way it happens in this country. We all know that
there's nothing bad if he joins APC.
Oh, you are saying there's nothing bad.
There's nothing bad.
No.
That is right.
We
That
have
is
made it.
right.
We have
They're
made-
going for the presidency.
See, is
You
the
don't- I don't
issue.
understand. I don't know what
It's the issue.
I don't want to give.
But the
different-
former president was said to have given conditions. The conditions are not known to us, meaning that there have been discussions.
Exactly.
So,
discussion
the question-
with the party.
with the party that
No, I don't believe
giving
so. Maybe
conditions.
with individuals. You see the problem we have, and particularly with APC, where we are, and that's what brought them to where they are today. They don't take party decision. The individual decision is what they call party decision in the APC. That's why they don't have leaders who can say this is where
Group decisions. There are different groups.
Yeah, and
There are
that's why we had the
different
problem in 2000.
Yeah.
Was it 15 when Salaki became a Senate president?
Yes.
Because there was no general decision of party decision. It's different individuals are taking decision and are saying party decision. So, and that's why we're having problem. So I'm not sure if whether it's consulting or somebody is giving anybody condition. I'm not aware it's giving it to any party. It's giving it to individuals.
But are you overruling the fact that if it's a popular decision to actually woo former president Billy Jonathan, that he could get the ticket?
If it's a popular decision, you will not see Asiwaju and co disturbing themselves by buying food. You will not see
Amechi
using a Kogi State finance to go and buy on a mineral phone. You will not see.
Have you seen the?
You will not see.
Have you seen the long list
Amechi
of the
and co.
delegates? Have you seen the long list of the
Yes,
delegates?
over
Yes.
1,000 of them.
Some states or some zones have greater number of the delegates.
Yeah.
If the interest is from those zones, do you not think you would
When
just-
was the meeting? I'm telling you.
Even-
in politics.
How many people are from
see,
his zone?
If you say,
No, not
if
his
you
own
say,
zone.
if you
I'm
say,
talking about
if you
other
say
zones
he's discussing
now.
with the president, because what I see in APC is that the president determines what happens.
Yeah.
You remember when they were doing the Congress. They say once the president says this is where I'm going, this is where everybody is going, whether right or wrong. So they see the president as a party. So if he's discussing with the president and he considers that as a party, so be it. They are not aware that they have a meeting, next meeting or whatever meeting, whereby it was discussed that we are considering Jonathan. If that is the case, Tinubu and co and Sibaju and co, as Amechi and co,
They have discussed with the president now.
They will not be running up and down saying they want to contest for election, because they will be part of the discussion. Because there's no way you can discuss that kind of a thing without the involvement of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, without the Professor Sibaju, without Amechi and co, without those who have interest in fighting for the presidency at the meeting. That will not be possible. That will be just a joke. As far as I'm concerned, it's just people are just permuting. Or probably they are, like we said, they are winning. People are calling to come into the party. They are using that one to say, come and join us.
Are you aware that two governors, unknown to us now, are said to be behind the move to
Out of
bring
how many,
them?
out of how many governors?
I mean, they could be very powerful.
Oh, okay. Well, it's possible.
And that's why
Okay, let's take the discussion further than this. I'm looking at now the former president.
Jonathan.
No, I'm looking at Olusegun
Olusegun
Obasanjo,
Obasanjo.
who was once head of state.
Yeah.
We're also looking at the current president, who was once head of state. In your own estimation, your own analysis, would you say that their second coming was better than the first?
During the first tenure of Baba Obasanjo, all he came to do then was to ensure the establishment of democracy in Nigeria. You remember
The return to
yeah,
democracy.
the return. That's why I say establishment of democracy in Nigeria, because there had been instances in which Gowon had wanted to conduct election but truncating it, and on that note Muritala Muhammed took over, all right, being deputized by Obasanjo. Unfortunately, Muritala Muhammed was assassinated, and he now came in to ensure that that election held. But then that election on its own again, there are some things that happened. The issue of 12-2/3 and all that. And the evaluation of that depends on which perspective each and everybody is looking at it. Because somebody like me, I've been thinking, even I was so small then, I've been thinking of electoral college. Now, if you now transpolate that democracy at that time to the present,
Now, I'm looking at the tenure.
yeah, I'm saying
Not,
President
we are not reviewing former President Shehu Shagari's tenure. We're
No,
looking
no,
at
no,
his own
it's
3
not
years,
about- you know about Shehu
1976 to 1979.
I've jumped Shagari now back to Obasanjo's 1999.
All right.
Do you understand? We are evaluating their first coming to second coming. You know, so what happens in between is not our discussion here. Now, if you look at his performances for those 8 years, there are a lot of institutions that he came up with. We're not talking of functionality now. We're talking about institutions, veritable institutions, like EFCC, like ICPC, like democratic, all those democratic institutions and all that. He brought them in. Then when you also look at our foreign policy, you're going to see that our foreign policy at that time too was not bad at all. We're being respected. We're being respected all over the world, or like what is happening now. When you look at our exchange rate too, the same thing. You understand? Except in some other areas like our refineries, our lights, roads. We're all aware of what happened with between him and Aneni. As regards Biniore Road, we knew how much money that was involved, and nothing happened. As regards light and all that. So all said and done, I don't think when you look at their coming back, recycling of these leaders, I don't think it's something that Nigerians should embrace. We need not to embrace it. Because along the line, you find out that even most of them that we are recycling, they were not prepared for leadership at that time. But Obasanjo had already resigned to his Ota farm. But unfortunately,
Retired to his offer.
to his Ota farm, totally. But some people now say, okay, in order to assuage the Yorubas, vis-a-vis what happened to late Chief MK Abiola, let us look for somebody that Yorubas can rally around. But again, did Yorubas rally around him? No, they didn't vote for him. But people like IBB and some other people, they just say, okay, let us go and bring him. And at the end of the day, what did we see? So what I'm saying is, essence is this. We should try as much as, even this Buhari, I said, was no more contesting. Because some people being led, before some people being led by ACN then, it's like, okay, let us see how we can midwife him. And then come up with some whatever, roll around him. Yeah, it's not corrupt, it's not this, it's that, put him there.
It was repackaged.
It was repackaged. What are we seeing now? So what I'm saying is, we
okay,
should
so
be looking for
what-
prepared leaders.
Exactly.
Leaders that are prepared to be, look at you are here. It's because you are prepared for this program.
All right.
You see, the
You
reason why
share
I
his
have-
opinion.
No, the reason why I have-
Would you also say this recycling will not bring us any good?
I don't think so, because see, we believe in this old systems. Exactly, I don't know what to see in it. Even not only in our politics, even our football. You see them talk about we want to go for commissioner. They'll be talking about Okucha and Igalo who have retired. Igalo said he has retired. They went and begged him and said, "Come and join the Nations Cup team or whatever." He joined it. Nothing happened. He didn't play. and he was there. And there are people who can even do better. So we know why they are trying to decide why this recognition is coming up, really when it comes to presidency. They don't look at capacity. They don't look at achievement. They just look at name and look at what you are, where you are. Because if we are looking at achievement and capacity, the current president Baba Buhari will not be our president. Because when people are talking about 1983 or whatever, Jagban Buhari regime, I don't know what Baba did that time, that people believe he can do better. Because Jagban was the one in front at that time. Baba was just at the back, even as the president, at the head of state at that time. He was not doing much. Then, in Nigeria, irrelevancy is what we take as consideration for being a good leader. We talk about he has humility. I don't know how humility will become a capacity to do job. But that's all. For example, in my state, that's what's happening. They will tell you the governor is he has humility. You don't even know he's the governor. How does that translate to
performance?
The same thing happened in Baba Buhari. We say he has
incorruptible.
He has whatever, without looking at whether or not he has the capacity to deliver. So what I'm looking at now too, because if you are looking at Jonathan now, you are looking at particularly APC. If you are looking at in the face of Jonathan, that means you are looking at failure, because that's what they told us. The APC, when they are coming in, they say his government is a total failure. He's a clueless president. He's a this and that. And if you are looking at that particular person again to become your president, that means you don't have our interest at that. You are just looking at how to win the election. So what they do is just how do we win election? Who can win election for us? Everybody was brought into government not because they believe those who brought him, who packaged him, know that they are aware that look, they are aware that he has what they call 12 million votes. That's what they were looking for. That if you join these 12 million votes with what we have, or by here, we'll win election. That's what they are looking at. Not about will he perform? No, we are not looking at capacity. And at the time we should begin to look at those areas. Who has the capacity? Who has the experience? Who has the knowledge? Who has the willingness? Who has the energy to do this job? Not whether a sentiment of religion, sentiment of he has been a former this and that. When you look at,
well, let me put it to you: did former president did he perform or not, or he was blackmailed out of office? Did he perform? In your own estimation?
No, generally speaking, no. If you are talking relatively,
no, I'm asking.
No,
you.
if you are talking relatively,
No,
I know. Relatively, performance in this our government these days is relative. If you are looking at it relatively compared to what we are having now, it's very, very, very. It has a fantastic performance in office compared to what we are having
in retrospect.
Now. Yes, that's what I said.
That's at then. What was your opinion?
At that time, I won't rate him high. He wasn't performing at that time.
When you are now doing the comparative analysis,
relatively compared to what we are having now, you will rate him as higher than the what we have now. But at that time when he was there, it's glaring that it was not properly, his best was not enough.
Good enough for us. So if you were in Jonathan's or you were his brother, what would you tell him in one sentence?
I've said it. You should be careful. The land is slippery. And you should also remember that tale, Yoruba moon by tail light.
Tails by moonlight.
Tail by moonlight. How many joba ewele ku ewele?
Okay.
So your final word too?
Yeah, I think he should, just like Dr. K said, he should just sit down and enjoy his respect that he had. Yes. Because the respect is not because of his performance. The respect is because he handed over without any crisis. That was the respect is having even from the international community. They are not saying, the man that has done this, the man that has done that. They are just talking about, when they want to talk about him, they talk about he handed over without a crisis.
All right, let's hang it there. I mean, we're moving on to transiting to another topic now. Let's just hang it there. Whether or not former President Ebele Jonathan will run, or whether he will come forward to accept the invitation, it's left to him. We are waiting. Nigerians are waiting. We'll go for a short break now, and when we return, we'll be looking at another issue on the program. Of course, you're welcome back. It's still Summit, and my guests are still here, very much around the studio. Dr. Dayo Kayo, the political technocrat, and the barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, public affairs analyst, a cum politician.
Cum birthday boy.
Birthday boy. Yes, in this segment of the program, we're actually looking at also 2023 elections, but we are actually focusing on PDP's search or policy search for the right candidate too. And you all know that, like I said earlier, it's been back and forth on the issue of zoning. The speculation right at the beginning was that PDP was going to zone the presidency to the south. That was almost concluded. But as we speak, the party has actually dismantled that, and it's like it's free for all. The zoning may not actually hold any longer. Now we're looking at the prospects of the party in the face of jettisoning the earlier policy of zoning. Would it actually help the party to clinch presidency come 2023, or it will be its albatross? That's the focus on this on this segment of the program. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, I know you are one of them. Let me say, what advantage do you think PDP would get by zoning the presidency?
Let me first of all correct an impression. There was never a time when the party decided that there will be zoning for this 2023 election. It was an agitation by people that, look, we as PDP, there is a provision in the constitution which says that we must consider zoning. So and they want the party to implement that particular provision. And there's some other people that say, look, circumstance that we are now, it's not about zoning. It should be about who can deliver us and who can give results. That's what they're looking at. You see, the zoning of a thing, I as a person, I am not a party to it. I don't believe in it. You can't be doing zoning at the expense of quality or capacity or winning election. Every political party exists just to win election and to deliver after they win the election. The first primary objective of party is to contest and win the election. The other ones will follow. Because if you don't win election, you can't deliver any governance. So you must win election first. So the thinking is about winning election. Who can win this election? Who can give us results? Who has the capacity? That should be the thinking. So it's because we have been having this problem before now, because one of the people that have become a president in this country, they look like they just beg them to come and do it. They were not prepared for it. Because if you do something now, that means you are taking to the house of somebody. Just come and take it, whether they are qualified, whether they are interested or not. Because it's being taken to their place, somebody must come and take it. I'm not saying they don't have qualified people there. We'll call it, what we're doing is democracy. Democracy is about number, it's about people, it's about contesting. You can't just say, I should go and sit down. At the time when that zoning was being done, the exigency of that time allows it. Now PDP is in an opposition party, and they need to win the election. So if you are now talking about, there are so many conditions that you have to consider. You look at the number of fold that you see from there. And if you talk about this zoning, where do we zone it to? But when you talk about the condition they are talking about, there is no specification in that condition that says if North get it this year, South should get it this way, or Southwest or Southeast. There is nothing like that. It just says respect zoning for equity and fairness. For example, now Southeast are claiming that it's their turn. If you are looking at the zoning, I am from the North Central. I am also saying that, look, it's our turn because we have never been president since 1999. Same thing applies to other areas. So if Southeast is saying it must be our turn, the North Central is also saying it must be our turn, and the partner say, okay, in that case, let's allow everybody to go and try their luck, and then they contest. To me, it's a fair decision as far as I'm concerned, because you will not be breaching anybody's right to.
Is it a fair decision?
Yes.
Considering if you have been watching the governor of Rivers State, he's been going around wooing other party members, consulting all over, and he's been saying that on merit is qualified, and then if justice will be applied, that it should be zoned to the south, because if PDP does not present a candidate from the south, it's most likely to lose the next elections. And he's saying that PDP may die if it loses the next election.
You see, before I tell you whether it is a fair decision or not, I'm going to come from two different premises. Number one, the essentials of a party, of the existence of a party, is to win an election, nothing more. The second premise is this: for any party to win the election, that party must put in somebody that has that embodiment for winning that election. Embodiment in terms of, will you be able to garner enough support in the whole country? That is, are you a regional leader or a national leader? It has to also, that one has to be established. Another one is this. When you're talking of zoning, like he said, it's not that he's saying if this presidency has not come from so place, it must go there now. That is as regards federal character. Federal character is different from zoning. Zoning is, if your chairman is from this place, let the secretary be from this place. Let the PRO also be from that place. Let the assistant secretary be from that place. So that the whole leadership of that party will not be aggregated in a particular place within the Federation of Nigeria. So to that extent, if PDP is looking for if PDP wants to win election, if PDP doesn't want to go into extinction, if the PDP wants to put somebody who has that required embodiment, and they also believe that this person will be able to garner enough vote for them, why are we now shouting about the leadership of PDP that has now said, okay, everybody come to the field? Because it is when everybody is on the field that you will know who can garner national votes. Unlike those you mentioned Wike now. If Wike, Atiku, Saraki,
Bala Mohammed,
and
Tambua,
Busari, if all of them should go to the field, let us see how many of these delegates will vote for them. I don't know whether you understand. Let us see how many of these delegates, because all these delegates are from everywhere within the Federation of Nigeria. So if somebody is now able to garner enough votes from the northwest, north central, north east, southwest, southeast, south, able to garner enough votes, will you now say that person should jettison his ambition or her ambition to somebody who can garner votes only from the south, or from the northwest, or only from the north central? No. So that is why it is always good for you to have the best and for you to be able to achieve your purpose. Let it be open.
No, let it be open. In the whole of PDP today, if you need to evaluate who is that single personality that has that national clout that may be able to garner such votes, I mean, looking at those that have shown interest, that have declared that want to run.
From my own point of view, I see them from the north.
You see the candidates,
Those
they are from the north.
Yes, I see Bukola Saraki, I see Atiku Abubakar, I see Tambua.
But you have seen that you didn't mention Bala Mohammed. Are you aware that Bala was said to have been a consensus candidate?
No.
I mean, amongst the
northern elders.
Northern elders.
Not party and not
party.
Not. They were talking about general acceptance by the country. You know, Saraki, by virtue of being a former Senate president, he has been able to connect most of the people within the country. So he has structure almost everywhere in the country. Unlike some of the, I don't, you know, we are all, unlike some of them who are just popular within their
Localities.
area. So so you must have a national color for you to be able to achieve result as a president in this country. So I will look at that, those three that I just mentioned as my quality candidate that can deliver for the party. Not anybody from the, yes, people are talking about Peter Obi. Yes, I don't, I see him too, he has quality. If you are talking about people from the South, I'll pick Peter Obi.
Southeast.
Southeast. I'll pick him first. And then apart from him, I don't think I have another person to pick in that area. I will not pick Wike. Wike has no national, what's it called, acceptance. He has no structure. He's only popular in Rivers. Even in Rivers, if there's probably there is an election, it may be difficult for him to even win. Alone, just talk about Rivers State because the structure is not.
This same Wike that you have just rated so low. He said he said he has supported almost everybody in the party. That he has used resources, his clout, and everything to support other people. Now they should pay, but this is a payback time.
President should not pay payback.
So if he is not, what do you think the effect or the consequences of not considering somebody from the south?
You can't give somebody a ticket just because he wants to blackmail you.
I'm looking at the consequences
just because definitely there will be some after the primary or definitely some people will leave, some people will join. Some people will leave the party, some people will come back to the party. Some people will leave APC, some people will leave PDP, some people will go to PDP, APC, or even other party, SDP and some other party will also have people after the primary. There is no way you can, but you see, like I said, if you are talking about reality, Wike, as far as I'm concerned, does not have the national clout to win the presidency. With due respect to him, he may be popular in his not even in the south, in Port Harcourt, or as far as I'm concerned, he may be popular in that area. But you can't compare Wike with Bukola Saraki or Atiku Abubakar. You can't compare them in terms of popularity and in terms of acceptance by people. They have a network everywhere within the state. They have connection with everybody. By being a member of the National Assembly, by being a former vice president who has contested election as president for so many, that connection has been there. Wike has never done that before. Saraki, this is not his first time of contesting for the president. He has gone around before now. So Wike has never done that before. So it will be difficult for him to just suddenly create that platform to be able to match these people we are talking about. He may have the state money with him. He may be able to. He may say he wants to spend money or he has been spending money. That will not be enough. People will just collect money and they will not do anything. And even if he's giving ticket, he will not be able to wrest power from the current government because we need somebody who can do the job. In other words, it was acceptable by everybody within the country, not who has the popularity, who has the structure. Politics is not about just.
But do you think other candidates, other aspirants now have the reputational capacity?
Reputational?
Yes, capacity to wrestle power from the APC now. I mean, other aspirants with the APC. He has mentioned Bukola Saraki, he has mentioned Atiku Abubakar, he has mentioned Tambua.
I don't think it should be reputational, rather capacity and character. Because when you're talking of reputational, I will also tell you, can we get a virgin in the labor room? Do you understand? You can't. So let us leave that reputation by one side. But the issue is this.
Are you saying it's not the right question to ask during elections?
When you're talking of reputation, I always tell people have been asking me, I will say, if you are looking for a politician who is reputable, then first of all, lead me to labor room to bring out a virgin.
It's okay.
Because there is, listen,
you look at Nigeria.
Okay, everybody. Yes. Do you understand? So we should not look at that now. All we need look at is out of those people from that labor room, who among them can still deliver a baby? Do you understand? So that is what we should be looking for. And then when you are now looking at who among them is this, nobody can still say it is either Atiku or it is either Bukola Saraki or it is either until when they get to the field. Until when they get to all of them that are scammering now, that are going around now, they know each of them know each other. There are some that are making noise for them to be able to get a better position, for them to be able to negotiate for something else. Do you get? But those that are real there, those that are really real there, We know
like,
them now.
like yesterday, your former governor, who was also an aspirant, was
Who is that? Who is that?
Was with Wike.
Who are you referring to?
It's former governor.
But you remember,
He's an aspirant. He's contesting, and he's also following.
He's also following Wike.
One campaign that.
So you know that there was people that are looking for Wike. For Wike, yes.
All right.
Wike might not be a national leader, but on national television or national newspaper, everybody they know him. But when it comes to presidency, in Yoruba they say when they are calling ẹranko tó níhò ìgbé ògbúdọ̀ yọjú bí tí màálù bá ti ń ṣe kiri náà or ìgbé aṣọ pé ò fẹ́ bá ẹ for compete.
I need to thank you so much for your time and your thoughts. I mean, it's been a very, very exciting session. I need to thank my guests here. Let me start with Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political technocrat.
Yes, thank you.
Those views I believe will help us in choosing the right person come 2023. Your views are also very, very important to the choice of our next president, Barrister Tunji Ablami. Thank you so much for your time and your thoughts on this program.
And then his panel will also be happy to after this.
Leave that to me. After we are after it, they're still fasting.
Yes.
We'll wait till 7 p.m. Happy birthday and many happy returns.
Thank you very much.
That's our package today on the program. My name is Banji Busari. See you again next week. Bye-bye.